Hello, I'm Adam, founder of Play Parlor and Nomadic Arcade. I'm going to be giving you some pointers on how to play our hand-built arcade game, Fuseball. So this video is going to assume that you're either at or you're going to be at an event where you get to play Fuseball. If you want to see what this game is about or watch people playing it, we've got videos for that at our website, www.nomadicarcade.com. But for this video, we've got the pumps turned off, we have no camera feeds. This video is just to show you how to play like an experienced Fuseballer. So, as a player of Fuseball, you'll have control over one side of the game. We have the cool side over here, which has green, blue, gray colors on its figures. And over here, we have the hot side, which has orange, yellow, red, hot colors. So each of these sides, we're going to go for cool in this video. It has 3 poles of figures and a control for the pump for you to manipulate while you try to defend your own goal and score on your opponent's goal. And you're always defending from the left and attacking toward the right, so as if you were reading an English sentence, everything's moving that way. Same thing on the other side, everything's moving this way. So, I'm going to drop a ball in. We're going to start with attacking. You've got 2 poles and 3 figures to attack. There goes the ball. Each of these figures can slap at the ball like it's foosball. They can also make waves to move the ball. And, like it's water polo, pick the ball up and fling it at the opponent's goal. Now, there are 2 main points that you should remember if you want to play this game better than the average person. And we just mentioned one of them. To use the figures to make waves in the water to move the ball around. So we'll get back to making waves, which is the first point you need to remember, and we'll get to the second point. But first, let's look at the attackers. Now the forwardmost pole is your striker. It's got 1 figure mounted in the center of the pole. One thing about this is the figure has only that range, it can't reach the edge. But the pole does have an extra long screw on either side, so that if the ball's along the edge, you can flap at it with that screw. Now this is another place where making waves to move the water to move the ball is really important. When the ball gets behind the other player's goalie and sitting there along the edge of the goal, your striker is really good for using waves to push that ball over the edge and score. So the middle pole is your midfielder's pole. Now these figures do get close enough to the edge that they can reach the ball. However, they can't get close enough to the edge to actually scoop up the ball. They're only able to slap at it. So, do you notice how often we mention the edge and what you can reach and what you can't reach and what you can do and not do when the ball's at the edge? This brings us to the second point that you need to remember of the 2. Remember, the first was to use the water to make waves to move the ball. The second point is to make appropriate use of the edge. So you can start by remembering that everywhere along the lateral movement of the edge, something can reach the ball. So the ball's right down there at the edge right now. This guy, he can reach it. When it's down on this end, you can reach it with your extra long screw. You can slap at it and make a lot of wave motion to move it with your midfielder. This is where you want to get the ball. You want not toward your opponent's goal, but back toward your own. You want to bring the ball back toward your corner goalie when it's on the edge. And those 2 corner goalie figures are the key for making the edge work for you. Because they can pick the ball up off the edge and throw it back into the main field of play. But let's take a look at the actual goalie pole. You've got your central goalie. When you've got the ball down past your goalie, the center goalie can scoop it out of there and does a lot of blocking. But you can see that he doesn't quite manage to cover the entire range of the goal opening. Your corner goalies can make up that difference. But the corner goalie's real value is their range of motion. They get a lot out of it, and picking that ball up off of the corner with their little axe and throwing it back in, and that was almost a goal. So they can attack, they can shoot. You can hold the ball there, stretch, relax, regroup, take a drink, do whatever you need to do, and then when you're ready, you can have your attacker set up. You can have an idea in your head of what you're going to try to do when you toss that ball back in. So those are the two main points that you need to remember to play this game like an experienced fuseballer. One is use the water to make waves to move the ball, and two is to get the ball when it's on the side, get the ball down to your corner goalie, and use them to set up your next attack. Keep in mind too that using your figures to make waves to move the water around is something you're only going to learn how to do by feel. So when you get a chance to warm up, that's what you should be doing. Doing different things, seeing how the ball reacts, watching it do its thing as you make waves to move it around. Okay, so that just leaves the most badass move in the game, which is picking the ball up off the surface and flinging it at the goal. Now, though this does appear pretty violent and bombastic, pulling it off actually requires some finesse, a bit of planning, and a lot of patience. The first thing to do when you're going to scoop the ball up is to figure out which of your attackers is going to make the scoop, and have that guy ready. In order to have them ready, you want to basically put the front of the scoop almost straight down into the water, so you're kind of just making a cup for the ball to come get picked up in. And then you're going to want to use your other pieces between the goalie and these guys to push the ball into where you can pick it up. Now, when you've got it picked up, you want to kind of drag it down to find that sweet spot where it's kind of sitting right on the edge. You don't want to have it here so much as here. And then you're ready to fling. So the fling is pretty specific. It's really easy to throw really hard. You just throw it straight down. If you spin that around like that, what you want to do instead, you're actually going to stop the motion right about here. So it's a really quick and really, dead stop. So there you have it. Watch this video as often as you like. Remember the two main points. First is make waves in the water to move the ball to where you want it to be. The second is, when the ball's on the edge, get it back down toward your corner goalies so that then you can regroup and make your next assault. And have patience and some planning with scooping the ball up off of the water. And there you have it. All right, thanks.